What's up guys, Spin Firearms here, and this is going to be a very interesting video because I've made videos on both of these before, and the title of this video was the best value for everyday carry. And this is the Smith & Wesson M&P Shield Plus, obviously this version in 9mm as you can see. But this is by far not only one of the best value handguns out there, but one of the best carry options in general. It's comparable to every single thing in its price range and even stuff above its price range. You can find these for $350, $375, $400. You can get the Performance Center for like $600, which the Performance Center version blows the water out on any of these other companies. It just is what it is. Then you also have this over here, and I made a video about this, and the video was called The Firearm That the Internet Ruined, right? You know, a couple things with the CSX. It wasn't necessarily malfunctions that were firearm induced. It was more of like a false reset and stuff like that. If you ever want to check out the video, you can. But I actually am one of the people who like the CSX. Now, is it my favorite carry gun? No. Is it my favorite Micro 9? Not by a long shot, but I think it has a lot of good things going for it. And I would absolutely love to see a Gen 2 of this handgun come out and give the people what they want, which is a double action, single action, hammer fired Micro 9. Right? But before we get started, hit the like button, drop a comment down below, and subscribe. We'll start off by comparing the two. Even though this has a Mag Guts kit in it, which is obviously an extra cost, it is 13 plus 1 on the right, whereas the CSX is going to be 12 plus 1 on the left. There they are. Very hard to line up. As you can see, the CSX is wider in the grip, but that actually makes for a more comfortable, ergonomic grip. Overall length from beaver tail to beaver tail, slide to slide, barrel to barrel. Absolutely crazy. Both are very concealable and shootable pistols. Let's get into it. Shield Plus. This right here is a manual safety on it. That's how I got it for $355 or whatever the case may be. But this handgun has so much going for it. It has the awesome Smith & Wesson finish that I absolutely love. It's ran great on my work carry, other Smith & Wessons I own, my bodyguard, stuff like that. It's always been great. One thing they didn't do is memory pads. I would have liked to see the Shield Plus come with memory pads, and for a lot of people who carry with lights, I would have liked to see them have a rail, even though they do make a TLR 6 that fits this. Now, what's really nice about the Shield Plus is it fits in the Shield 9mm, Shield 40 holsters. So a lot of people already have those holsters and maybe just upgraded to this version, so now you can use your same holster, which is absolutely genius by Smith & Wesson. Now, manual safeties are stiff on this. I don't even use it. I've never accidentally induced it. It's never gone up. It sits where it's at. It's actually very stiff and very hard to work. Serrations are very minimal on the front, which doesn't really matter in my opinion, and the rear are nice. A similar, fish scale or whatever they call that, actually looks pretty good. Put my own memory pad on there. Looks terrible, but it works. It does the job. Texturing and ergonomics feel really good, even though the Shield leaves a little something to be desired in my hand, like a little bit more thickness, but honestly, the texturing is pretty good on it, and overall ergonomics are on point. But where this handgun shines is what we're going to get into next. That flat face trigger and how big this is. Compared to your average Micro 9, the footprint of the Shield Plus is a bit bigger. It just is. It's bigger in every dimension except width. It's actually one of the skinniest Micro 9s. But when you're looking at it this way in footprint, it is bigger height-wise, width, all sorts of things, right? But it's such a smooth shooter and one of the fastest shooting Micro 9s. Now, let's go ahead and safety check and make sure it's clear. But let's look at this trigger, right? Flat face trigger, first of all, compared to, my 2.0 and 357 SIG, the triggers are completely different. This trigger just is natural, feels good on the finger, really light up to that wall, crisp, clean, audible. Now let's check out that reset. It's like, what more do you want in a defensive pistol, right? A lot of people are trigger snobs and stuff, but I think that trigger right there is just the perfect everyday carry defensive trigger. It's still heavy enough where it's not going to accidentally go off, under adrenaline, whatever the case may be, but it's still light enough and crisp enough and clean enough to shoot it really, really accurately. Now, like I said, this is a 13 plus 1 setup, but I had to buy a Mag Guts kit. Normally, it would be only 10 rounds, but 10 plus 1 is plenty and enough for me. Oh yeah, I forgot to go over sights. They come with 3-dot sights, but as you all know, tritium options are out there. This is the set I have on my 40 2.0. You can get those sights anywhere. I actually got those on eBay for like $40. I lowballed someone on a best offer, and he accepted, so it ended up working out pretty good in my favor. But the Shield Plus is just one of the best Micro 9s out there. It is my second favorite Micro 9. I think it is by far one of the best and can definitely compete or outshoot any other Micro 9 for the average person. It just seems to be a great fit for everyone. Even people with smaller hands, Like you saw in that other one, I put a hoe grip on it, or I put some, grip tape, wrap it up, just make it just a little bit thicker so that it feels really good in the hand. Next up, the CSX. This is a 12+1 setup, obviously hammer fire. Now, the reason why I really love this handgun are the ergonomics. It is one of the most comfortable handguns in the world, but what makes it even crazier is it's a micro 9. A lot of these micro 9s have very thin grips, this way and this way, and it feels like I just said, you're missing something. The CSX just fills your hand perfectly, and they also offer all these back straps that are different. I think I'm using one of the bigger ones, and it feels really good. The texturing is perfect on these, absolutely perfect, and then the texturing up here is absolutely perfect. Now, as you can see, it is an aluminum frame, and I actually really like that. I feel like the build quality on this is just top notch. It is on point. And I'm telling you that this right here, no offense to Kimber people, this is how it should have been made. This handgun rips. The recoil is so minimal on this handgun. I can dump 12+1 in a 2.5 inch circle or grouping in about 2.5 seconds. This is just an awesome shooting handgun for its size, and I think a lot has to do with the overall ergonomics because they are dang near perfect. Now, they all come with a manual safety, so you can run it cocked and locked, but as we're going to get into, the trigger isn't the lightest. It's not a 1911 trigger. You're not buying a performance shooter, you're buying a self-defense firearm. You're not buying a firearm you're going to sit at the range and go, okay, I'm shooting to reset, I'm shooting to reset. No, this is something that's going to be defending your life with, and you're just going to be ripping that trigger. It's got a short enough reset to where when you release a little bit, you're good to go on that next shot. You just got to learn the pistol and train with it. But the CSX has an awesome finish on it, awesome serrations, 3-dot sights that are actually really nice and accurate, great texturing, a very bright white that sticks out at you. Like I said, quality magazines, of course, right? Safety checked and cleared. Now, obviously, cocked and locked. When you remove that, it's actually a very comfortable safety. They have it like sitting perfectly with just enough sticking out so it's snag free. And on top of this, guys, remember, it's ambidextrous. If you're a lefty, you want a micro 9, this is your best friend. And this thing is a smooth shooter. Now let's check out that trigger, right? Like, I don't get why people complain. I get this is what they complain about, right? False reset, actual reset, right? Let's do it again. False reset, actual reset. But look how, right, ready, watch this, right? You're not going to be shooting to reset in self-defense. I don't think you are. I've never been in a self-defense encounter with a pistol, but I just feel like in your head you're not going to be like, okay, I feel, I'm shooting to reset. You're just going to be letting that thing go, and this trigger, is so short, in theory, that you can just literally let off a 1/4 inch and you're going to be ripping, and that's exactly what I do. I've never had a hang up with that. I've never gotten tricked by the false reset. I've never had that issue before, ever. Now, obviously, the aluminum does show wear. I don't carry this the most, and it actually has shown a lot of wear, but it is what it is. Just simple banging into stuff, training with it, resting on stuff, it does show a decent amount of wear, and this is holster side, so probably is going to have a little bit more wear, but overall looks really good for how long I've had it. I really enjoy this handgun, and honestly, I think this is probably 2 of the most solid options you could get for defending your life. Trustworthy, reliable, and they're both very different, but both very comfortable to carry, very easy to carry, very manageable to shoot. Good triggers, they're just the total package. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know which one you would choose.